Hey, what's up? My name is Nelson, and today I'm going to be doing something a little differently. I'm going to do 3 movies, very brief reviews on these movies, because this weekend I barely had time to even go see any movies, let alone make the videos separately, because I have been renovating my house and been moving in all weekend. So, I'm going to start off with Tick, Tick, Boom. On the cusp of his 30th birthday, a promising young theater composer navigates love, friendship, and the pressures to create something great before time runs out. Well, that's all I'm going to say. All of these are going to be spoiler-free. So, first off, Andrew Garfield is amazing in this movie. Definitely one of my favorite performances of the entire year. I mean, just the stress level that this character has. And, like it says, balancing all of his friendships, and he's got a girlfriend. And just all of those things he has to balance. And on top of all of it, he is trying to make this musical that he has been trying to make for the past 7 or 8 years. And I think Andrew Garfield tackled this performance so well. It just he's very quirky, and he gets very emotional, and he loves what he does, and he loves all of his friends, but he's just having this horrible time trying to balance it all. And it's just he just does such a good job. And Lin-Manuel Miranda, he did so good directing this movie, and I'm really looking forward to see what more he has to bring to the table, because he did so well in this. And the other notable actors in this movie. Another big standout for this is Robin DeJesus was his best friend Michael, and he played this character so well. He was a very supportive friend, and just the friendship between the two, just how much they loved each other. It was very, very heartwarming at times and stuff, and just such how great friends they were. And then when the conflict happens, it's very done well by the actors, and he just was so great. He's a big standout. I liked him quite a bit in this movie. And then the girlfriend Susan, played by Alexander Shipp, she was great in this too. She played, his girlfriend, and just their relationship was very quirky and very awesome, and I really liked her character a lot too. It's just there wasn't any bad acting in this movie. It was very, very good. And just the story, it's very, very heartwarming, true story. And just the emotions in this movie, and just how well done it is, and like the music is really good. It's something that gets stuck in your head, and I love musicals, but that's the big thing for me. If the songs are getting stuck in my head, you've done something right. And just really, really good songs throughout. If I had a complaint, the only thing is towards the middle of the movie, there is a slight pacing issue where it felt kind of slow. But overall, this was really good. And if you have Netflix, check it out. For my score, I'm going to give it a 90%. Now, the second movie I'm talking about is Ghostbusters Afterlife. When a single mom and her 2 kids arrive in a small town, they begin to discover their connection to the original Ghostbusters and secret legacy their grandfather left behind. Alright, this to me was such a big surprise. I do like the Ghostbusters movies. I'm not the hugest big fan of it, but what they did in this movie, I think they did very, very well. And honestly, what I like about it too is it felt very dark. And there was some good horror elements in it. It was, at its heart and core, it was a comedy, but they did really well on the horror elements throughout. And all of the callbacks were very, very well done. Well, then the acting, you got Finn Wolfhard and Paul Rudd and Carrie Coon. But the big standout for me is McKenna Grace. She kills it. She killed this role. She plays basically her grandfather, and she's very much like him. She has the curly hair and the glasses, and she tells dad jokes throughout this movie, and she was just such a great character. I just felt very connected to her nerdiness, and I just loved her so much. The ghost looked really good. Muncher was an awesome looking. He was blue and just looked very, very well. And then Gozer looked super well too in this movie. So the ghosts were really, really cool. And some of the ghosts in the movie actually looked pretty terrifying, to be honest. And I thought that was cool that they added that little bit of horror element. And Paul Rudd was so awesome in this movie. And that scene at Walmart that you see in the trailers and all that was an awesome scene. It was funny and kind of scary. It was just really, really good. And I feel Paul Rudd really took on this role and he did so well. He just played himself, like he always does. But I just loved his character. Just very, very wholesome character. And just the ending in this movie, I'm not going to give too much away, but it's very, very emotional and very, very well done. Just what they do in it. Like I said, I don't want to get too much into it, but basically the only complaint I have for this movie is kind of the mom was a bit over the top at times with what she, with not being, her dad not being around and stuff. It kind of got repetitive throughout this movie, but I ended up liking her towards the end, and she definitely had some funny one-liners and stuff throughout the movie, so the character did get redeemed for me. But overall, this movie was very, very fun, and I liked it a lot. I gotta give it an 83%. And last, but definitely not least, I'm going to talk about King Richard. Richard Williams serves as a coach to his daughters, Venus and Serena, who will soon become two of the most legendary tennis players in history. First off, here we go. This is one of my favorite movies of the entire year. And Will Smith just kills it. If there is not at least a nomination for Best Actor, they're doing something wrong, because this might be one of his best performances of his entire career. I mean, he's got a lot of good ones, like The Pursuit of Happiness and, like I Am Legend and stuff like that, but it just killed it. This movie was just so touching to me in every way. Just hearing about Venus and Serena Williams' backstory and just all of the things that they had to go through to get to the point to where they are. It's such an amazing story. And basically all of the actors in this movie, the whole entire family was amazing. I mean, Demi Singleton as Serena and Sonia Sidney as Venus, they did so well. And basically all of the siblings in the movie, they just being kids and stuff, I feel like they did so good in this movie. And just the way they all, the wife and the husband in the movie, just the way they all did so well, and just the chemistry between the husband and wife too was just done so well. And then you have other characters, that played like the coaches and stuff, like John Berthal and Tony Goldwyn. They did so good, but this storyline is this story is just so, it's so touching just to see just what all happened, because, they are two of the greatest tennis players to ever play the game. I mean, Serena Williams is the greatest to ever play the game, and it was just really cool to see the ups and downs, growing up where they grew up and in Compton, and just seeing all of the things they had to go through living in that town, trying to practice and stuff, and the stubbornness of Richard Williams, and just how well Will Smith did as that character. At times, I honestly didn't even know. It didn't even feel like it was Will Smith at times, just because he took on that role and just manifest himself into a different person, and just And just honestly, and then at the end of the movie, you do see footage and stuff and hearing him talk and just how well Will Smith did playing that part. And I know I'm gushing over him in this movie, but he just did so well, and it just made me love him even more than I already did, because he is one of my favorite actors. And it's definitely probably my favorite performance out of an actor this year, at least, I would have to say. Definitely. But there is also a lot of good humor in this movie, too. You get quite a bit of laughs. There's a lot of tragedy. I cried more than I'd like to admit in this movie, but just very, very well done. And there is, I mean, with the complaints for this movie, which isn't much, there is a little bit of, like, pacing issues and a little bit of fan service throughout the movie that kind of was a little bit much. But honestly, that doesn't really take a score from me away, because this was just amazing. For my score, I'm going to give it 100%. It was perfection, and just done so well, and just so heartwarming and so heartbreaking, and just hearing the stories that Richard tells throughout this movie too is just so heartbreaking at times, and it's just done so well. But if you like what I'm doing on this channel, like and subscribe. Follow me on Instagram at Nelson Reviews. Follow me on Letterboxd at Nelson48. Peace out.